An interesting indictment from the United States government this week shook everybody up. Has to do with, allegedly, a couple Russians funneling maybe, $10 million into what turns out to be a Tennessee-based media company around the Nashville area, not Knoxville, to sort of influence and promote Russian propaganda. Got everybody's attention because it's heavily involved in politics, that media company that we think is called Tenet Media. Don and Eddie, very interesting. Your thoughts?
So I can just tell you as a lawyer, I read the indictment today and I looked at it, and it is well pled. I'm not suggesting that it's accurate yet or not. The system has to play out, but troubling. We've all known that this happens, and if nothing else, it's a good lesson for the public to be very careful. And this money apparently went to influencers and social media types. Be careful where you get your news and what you're hearing, either side. And it does seem, frankly, to be going on more frequently on behalf of the right. But remember, this is being proposed by folks that have, outside of our country, that have certain national interests of their own to see our elections go some way. And just like I think the city should vote on what we talked about earlier, we should vote on our leaders and not be influenced by those on the outside with certainly nefarious purposes.
And I'll agree with that. I mean, I think we've seen for years that bad actors, Russia, North Korea, Iran, China are spending billions to influence our elections, and not in a positive way. It's not for the betterment of us, but for what they want to achieve out of this. So, people really need to take what they see on social media with a grain of salt.
Absolutely.
They need to do their homework. They need to go to reputable news sources like WBIR, some of our other local ones, and don't just take one side. Really do your research to find out what's the truth, because there are people that are trying to influence things that are to the detriment of this country.
It should be quick to note that the Tenet folks were not named in this indictment.
Right,
it was the two Russians, and they could be victims of this. More to come later, but it wouldn't surprise me if they're sort of dupes in this versus criminals.
Right. And real quick, to further your point, the sort of high-profile media figures associated with Tenet are like, hey, what I say is my own stuff. I'm not guided by anybody. But also, well said, Eddie, honestly, don't trust a lot of things that you see on social media. Be skeptical. No offense to Russia, but the Russian government is not our friends, folks. Okay, all right.
Plenty of offense to Russia.
Tuesday. We got a big day coming up. That is the presidential debate. Maybe it's one of multiple debates. Maybe it's one of only one. And maybe Tuesday will decide whether it's only one round between Kamala Harris, the Democrat, and Donald Trump, the Republican and former United States president. Love to hear your thoughts on it. We've got about a minute.
So I'm excited. I think it's going to set apart the candidates. I've never been impressed with Trump at all as a debater. I wasn't impressed with Joe Biden, obviously, during the last debate. Kamala Harris is a trial lawyer. She knows how to handle these situations, and I think she is going to do well, and I think the public will be able to see a big difference.
Eddie?
I think you're going to see two candidates that are honestly prepared for this debate. I'm anxious to see how both of them handle it, and really what I'm looking for is, what do both of them have for the future? We hear a lot about the now or day one, but what are we thinking about for the next generation that's going to follow after that? What leader is actually planning stuff for that generation to follow?
And I know what's new wins. What's new wins. So
we've got
Trump
roughly
be new?
60 days left of this election. It's going to be a big night Tuesday. You can catch it on NBC, and we'll see you next Sunday night, or Sunday morning rather. Take care.